Good Friday morning, workplace warriors. Oops. Sorry about that. Didn't have my headphones turned on. Good Friday morning, workplace warriors. Happy Friday to you. I hope that your week so far has been awesome and that you're ready for another discussion on an HR topic. So, why do employers care why we left our previous employment? That's a question that I recently got on one of the platforms that I answer questions on for job seekers and others who have HR concerns, workplace concerns that they need advice on. And let me share with you, it is very important to prospective new employers why you left your last job, because you could have left your last job for a number of reasons. Now, of course, if you voluntarily resigned for your from your most recent position to accept another opportunity, then that is absolutely wonderful. Most employers, prospective employers, are going to look very fondly upon that because it just shows that you have initiative and ambition and you're wanting to advance your career incrementally. And that's the way that you do so. You um, do your best at one job. And when you outgrow that position and you're ready for additional responsibility, then if there's no opportunity for you at your current job, then typically the only thing left for you to do is to start to kick off a job search and to find a new opportunity or to start your own business. So there's no shame in that game. But there are some other reasons why you can leave your most recent employment. One is you could retire, and especially if you're a public servant like I am, working for a government agency. Typically, we have pension plans that we pay into each pay period. And once you get a certain number of years, sometimes a minimum of 10 years with the agency or with government period, up to 30, 40 years or more, you can retire often at a much younger age than from the private sector. And you can take a break because you can start receiving your pension payments once you meet at least the minimum requirement age and service years requirement for retirement. And that's what many of my colleagues and fellow state workers have done. Some of them started when they were really, really young. And so now they may be in their 50s. And under their plan, they can, as long as they're the age of 50 at least, and have 25 years of service, I think it is, they can go ahead and retire. Now, what has happened is, which I'm happy for them because it's working out well for them, they can take a break, receive their retirement checks, and then they can decide they may be tapped to come back and work for another agency. In that case, if they work for a different agency that is under a different retirement plan, then they may be able to draw their retirement plan, their pension check, as well as go back to work part-time, which would be a whole lot less stressful, and earn additional income. And, that can put someone over the top financially if they're able to to do that. Then, if a person decides to just quit their job, if it's job abandonment, meaning that you did not give a notice and to your employer before you quit, you just left one day and never returned, then that's going to be looked upon very unfavorably by a prospective new employer because they're going to consider that professionally immature and possibly even lacking communication skills or self control. So they're going to want to know that because when you're considering a prospective a job candidate, you want to make sure that you can count on them to show up to work when they're supposed to. And even if something happens that they are not feeling comfortable with, or what have you, that they take advantage of the available resources like human resources or um, any other um, resource that's available to them, to like the ethics hotline um, that can help them to respond to inappropriate situations that arise at work and make them feel uncomfortable. Even the EAP, your EAP program, typically is going to have a component that will help guide you or give you advice on how to handle difficult workplace situations. But even if you find that the situation that you're um, uncomfortable with or what have you is not being resolved, then you should still try and give a notice, proper notice in accordance with the company's policy, so that you can leave on positive terms, hopefully, and not burn a bridge because you never know whoever may be treating you inappropriately or causing you to feel uncomfortable currently. That person is not going to be there forever. So you need to think about the big picture, not just what's going on now. You can end up, if you leave in on good terms, you can possibly end up going back to that organization years later, a couple of years later, 5 years later, or what have you, and be able to contribute once again to that agency's or employer's success. So I would encourage you to look at the big picture, consider the possibilities, the consequences and ramifications of any decision that you make regarding your employment. Something that I was always told, have always been told, is that it's always easier to get a job when you already have one. And I am finding that so true. One of my current clients that I'm coaching, she is out of work and she really wants to get back into work. She was laid off from a contract position that she was working on. And now, since she's been laid off, she's, I think, been laid off since fall of 2023. Here it is, November of 2024, and she has not been able to find something else yet. But I'm prayerful that things will work out for her. We are, and I have the faith that they will. Always, things don't always work out when we want them to, but I know that they will eventually work out for her. Meanwhile, I'm coaching her and getting her ready by fine tuning her job search process. And after some time on trying on her own unsuccessfully, she decided to, well, a mutual acquaintance referred her to me. And so that's why I've started coaching her as one of my clients to try and improve her success, her job search success. So now the another reason why you could have left your job is you could have been fired. And Of course, employers want to know why you were fired. So, first of all, I would encourage you to always be honest. I know that it can be a scary thing to be honest when you may be desperate for a new job because you need to take care of yourself and family. But look at it this way: if you are not honest about being fired from a job when you're asked, either on the application or during the selection process, interview process, if they find out otherwise later on, then you could likely be out of a job at that time. And you don't want to create a situation where you've absolutely ruined your career. Believe you me, you are not the first person to ever get fired from a job, and you will not be the last. And being fired from a job does not always mean that you're a bad employee. It means that something took place that you may have made a very honest mistake. You may have forgotten some things, forgotten to do something, to make a phone call, something. Or maybe your skill set wasn't quite what they needed on the job, or maybe you had a different understanding during the interview process regarding what the job duties entailed. But then when you got on the job, you realized that it wasn't what you were thinking it was going to be, and and then you ended up being let go because you weren't able to perform all of the duties of the job to the level that management was looking for. Well, don't feel bad about that because some employers don't do a good job of describing what the job entails, and then also some employers do a good job of what the job is supposed to entail during the recruitment and selection process. But then when the employee joins the organization, they start utilizing the position in a totally having the position to function in a totally different way, or a slightly different way than what they described to the candidate when they were interviewing. And that's not the candidate's fault if management decides to just change the way the job functions um, from what they advertised for. So, what I would recommend you do in a situation where you left your job in a manner that may be looked upon as unfavorable, whether it be job abandonment, where you just left one day and never returned to work and never let anyone know when or if you were returning, or why you were not returning, or if you were discharged or fired from your job. You can overcome it. There are so many people who have gone through that, and they went on to have successful careers. I mean, think about it. Look at people like Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs, who was the leader at Apple. You don't have to let it end your career, and I cannot stress that to you enough. But what you need to do is be prepared during the interview process to explain in a general manner what happened. Take responsibility for any actions that you took that led to the decision for you to leave inappropriately, leave your job inappropriately, and also be ready to explain what you learned from that experience, how it has helped you to grow professionally. Because remember, even things that we look at as bad or negative can often end up being an opportunity for growth for us. And so be able to explain what you've learned, how you've matured professionally and possibly personally through the experience, and also be able to share um, a plan a plan of action that you developed um, to help you not go down that same road again. That is very, very, very important because it shows personal and professional maturity. It shows growth, and it shows that you may just be the person that they need to give your next opportunity, an opportunity for you to prove yourself. And many employers, I mean, think about it. um, Employees are people, and employers are managers. They are people too. And so you'll find that people, many of them, believe in giving us a second chance if we made a mistake. Because why? They've made mistakes too. You may not know what their mistakes are, but they made mistakes as well. And sometimes they see a little bit of you or a little bit of them in you. And they want to give you the opportunity um, to rebound and to show resilience in spite of adversity, because life is filled with periods of adversity. Also, let me say this: anyone who um, if you have a hot temper and you tend to say and do things and make people feel physically unsafe, or you say things that degrade people because of your temper, because you don't have self control, I would encourage you that you get help to deal with that, because that can be another scenario that can cause you to lose your job. And unfortunately, when you have a hot temper and lack self control to that level where you're impacting others verbally, emotionally, and or potentially physically, or making them feel like um, you are capable of hurting them, and you engage in workplace bullying and and other types of threatening behavior, I can guarantee you, and please understand this, I can guarantee you that if you engage in that type of behavior in the workplace, you are typically going to find it very hard, harder than most other types of reasons that people get fired. You're going to find it very difficult to find another job. Don't put yourself in that situation. Don't put others in the situation where they feel that you are threatening them in any way, because that is totally unacceptable. And we need to have, like I attended a virtual webinar on yesterday, and a part of the focus was um, civility in the workplace, because we have lost some of that in some cases. I'm so grateful that the organization that I work for um, does not condone that type of behavior, and that employees can feel very free reporting anyone who is not exhibiting workplace civility and respect in the workplace. And I would encourage you that if you are someone who is caught in a situation like that, where you feel like you are experiencing incivility and a lack of respect and value in your workplace, I want you to, as quickly as you can, get your resume updated and start sending your resume and cover letters out to try and get yourself out of that situation if you have no one to talk to in the workplace. However, If you do have someone to talk to within your workplace, whether it be EAP, filing a complaint, an ethics hotline complaint, or if you feel like it's a discrimination situation where you're being treated inappropriately based on who you are, that aligns with any protected category of who you are, then you need to file a complaint. If you don't feel comfortable doing so within your within the organization, a lot of states have their own EEO, or Equal Employment Opportunity um, Commission or agency, and then there's the federal EEOC. And so you have options to report when you experience workplace behavior from others, whether it be a manager or a coworker or any um, fellow colleague or vendor. You need to take advantage of the available resources that are out there to help to protect you. Um, so, because we all have a right to reasonably expect to go to work to a safe environment, safe workplace environment that is free from discrimination, harassment, workplace bullying, incivility, and any other type of behavior that shows that a person is not interacting appropriately with others in the workplace. So, um, I know today's live is a little shorter than usual, but I thought it was just very important since I did get a similar question on one of the platforms that I'm active on. And I thought, okay, if this person has this question, then surely a whole lot of others have this question as well. So I hope that you found value in today's live, and I would love for you to let me know if you did find value. Also, leave me a comment and let me know if you felt that you've ever been a victim of any type of incivility, or if you ever left your job um, because you felt that um, you were being treated in an inappropriate way, in a harassing, bullying, threatening way at work. Or um, let me know if you've ever had a situation where you felt uncomfortable discussing with a potentially new employer why you left a previous job. I read all of your comments, and I get in there and reply to you, and might even give you a little bit of advice. Or if you share something in the comments with me and others, then I might even do a video about it, and then that way I can help more people. If you did find value, please subscribe, and share. I'm on a mission to help you live your very best career life. And if you know someone else who is on that same mission to live their very best career life like you are, please share with them, and so that I can reach more people. And if you would like to work with me more closely, let me know by clicking on the appropriate link that I'll have in the description of the recorded version of this live. Also, if you are an aspiring HR professional, if you are a new college graduate, or if you're someone who has been working in another field and you've decided that you want to make a career transition and you want to get into the HR space so you can make a difference as a human resources professional, then I may just have, not even may, I have just what you need. I have developed an HR boot camp where I'll be training a core cohort of aspiring human resources professionals beginning in January of next year. And I'm going to put a link in the under this the recorded version of this video for you to share your interest, and there'll be a little application that I'll have you to complete so I can learn more about you and why you're interested in becoming a human resources professional. But we'll be starting that cohort in January of 2025. So if you would like to break into the human resources field, then I will help to give you a leg up so that you can make that transition hopefully very quickly. I know that this is a big planning weekend for a lot of us, especially those of us here in the U.S., because this is the last weekend before Thanksgiving. So as I close out, I just want to wish everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving a happy and safe, enjoyable Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Spend some time taking care of yourself and enjoying family and friends. And I will look forward to our next Friday morning live on the day after Thanksgiving. Until next time, career success to you. Bye bye.